How do you decide what schooling shows to take your horses to? Do you plan out your competition year in advance, or do you just decide on a whim what shows to go to?
So what I try to do is on the first of every month, I look at the next 60 days of horse shows. So I plan the next 60 days of whatever horse shows I want to go to on the first of every month. So obviously the first of this month, the next 30 days, we'll narrow down any details. We'll look out on the second 30 days, so 60 days, keep an eye on that, double check what I think we need to do. I might peek a little bit into 90 days, but I don't really plan too much, but I peek at it. For me personally, there's obviously, a handful of shows that are on roughly the same dates every year. So you're going to go to them. So they're kind of always in the back of my mind. But for me, if I plan out a whole year, if I get a year calendar on the wall and I start blocking out horse shows I'm going to and, vacation or travel or, tours or whatever it is, okay, I kind of have a bit of a mental breakdown because when I look at a whole year and look how much I'm gone, I start kind of hyperventilating, how the hell are these some bitches going to get trained when I'm gone so much, okay? So it's not good for my mind to look at a whole year. So I just try to look as a general rule 60 days in advance. 60 days in advance. So that's what does better for me. Other people do better seeing the whole year laid out. I don't. I'm trying to get 6 rides a week on them. So if I'm going Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the next 2 weeks, I'll probably ride every single day for 2 weeks to try to make up the fact that I was gone Friday and Saturday of the week before, okay? So ideally, they're trying to ride 6 days a week. So typically, the schooling shows I go to, I've stopped going to a lot of schooling shows, and I use an arena down the road. It's a great little indoor arena. A buddy of mine owns it, lets me go over there. So I'll school in that every Saturday. Every Saturday, but I'm home, I can either take cattle over there and school, or I can just go over there and school for the reining. And I can fill them and school them there, and it's only 5 minutes down the road from my barn, rather than go to a horse show, have all the expenses of travel, stalls, entry fees, all that kind of stuff. So I find I can get just as good a schooling done by going down the road than what I can going to actual horse shows. It gets a lot more expensive going to horse shows just to school horses. So I try not to be going as a general rule to a horse show more than, say, one a month. Sometimes you might be going more than that, but as a general rule, I like to spend 3 weeks at home and, 1 week or 4 or 5 days at a horse show, something like that, okay? Remember, when you go to a horse show, there's a lot of horses that you're training that don't get to go with you. They have to stay home, so they're missing being ridden. So again, especially 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds, they have to get as much riding as possible to get them trained for the futurities, okay? So that's how I do it. I don't like looking at a whole year. It starts making me feel very anxious. When I was running and gunning in down under horsemanship for the first 10 years of my career, I was on the road literally 48 weekends a year. I'd get on a plane Thursday and fly to the clinic, do a clinic Friday, Saturday, Sunday, fly home Monday. And I was gone, literally 48 weekends a year. It got so overwhelming that when I would look too far into the future, I'd start getting really overwhelmed. So I would just look at 1 week ahead. What's the next week? What's the next week? What's the next week? I kind of attacked it like this is, trying to eat an elephant might seem overwhelming, but if you just take one bite at a time and just nibble away at him one bite at a time, eventually you get the whole elephant eaten. But if you try to look at how the hell am I going to eat this friggin' elephant, look how big it is, it kind of, for at least me, it got me overwhelmed. Where I just try to take a little step. It's like I tell people, how do you get to the top of Mount Everest? One damn step at a time. The older I get, the more I feel like training horses is kind of a lot like going to the gym or exercise. It's just put one brick on the wall, one brick on the wall. So when you're riding a horse 6 days a week, you might get done with a training session and something got a little bit better, so you put one brick on the wall. But if you just stand back, it's like you hardly saw one brick, didn't make any difference. But if you put one brick on the wall 6 days a week and then do another week and then do another week, after 4 weeks, you stand back and we built a pretty good chunk of wall there. So I try not to analyze the training on a day-to-day basis. I try to just say 6 days a week, 6 days a week, 6 days a week. And when you stand back 30 days later, it's like, wow, yeah, I got quite a bit accomplished. It's kind of like going to the gym. Sometimes you'll go to the gym and it's like, shit, I didn't feel like that was a very good workout. I didn't feel real good. It wasn't my personal best. But if you just keep showing up 5, 6 days a week, 5, 6 days a week in 30 days, you get in front of the mirror, it's like, I can see just a little change here. You got to just keep chipping away at it. Consistency is your greatest ally. Sometimes I'll train a horse and not really feel like I got very much accomplished. But if I show up again the next day, show up again the next day, at the end of the week, I'm like, man, this horse made quite a bit of improvement this week. But sometimes day to day, you don't see that much improvement.
Take your horsemanship to the next level. The No Worries Club Premium membership is your ultimate portal to complete your horse training. You'll have access to Clinton's complete training library, thousands of hours of step-by-step instructional videos. You'll master all aspects of horsemanship, from fundamentals to trick training. You'll have access to our exclusive social network that connects you with thousands of dedicated horsemen from around the world. You'll have the method available wherever you are and accessible through the web, your phone and tablets, or your favorite streaming devices. You'll receive 8 all-new training videos per year and the quarterly No Worries Journal, as well as access to the ever-growing video library, Q&As, performance horse series, blogs, and more. But that's not all. You also get free tickets to walkabout tours and priority access to the latest news coming from Down Under horsemanship, not to mention VIP pricing on all of Clinton's must-have training tools. So what are you waiting for? Unlock the ultimate access and jumpstart your training program today.